So, what do you think about when you think about the word desire? What does that bring up? It's a fascinating word, concept, idea, topic. Um, I love it. I love the word desire. I like connecting to my desire. I like being in a world where we get to enjoy desires. And I really believe that when we can really connect to that energy of that feeling, that's how we create in the world. That's our creative power. When we're connecting to our sense of desire, we're connecting to our power. And the disempowerment or the suffering that comes in with desire is when we attach to the outcome of the desire rather than connecting to the actual feeling of desire in our bodies. And that to me is a really important differentiation. It's a really important thing to note that when I'm talking about desire, I'm talking about the sense of want within my body, the thing, something that I'm being drawn to. It's like the when I talk about desire, I'm talking about that feeling of being drawn, not about attaching to the thing that I'm desiring, because those are two incredibly different things. If I'm attached to everything that I desire and I'm putting my okayness on those things, then I'm just going to be suffering. That's where suffering comes from. I'm not going to be okay until I have that thing, and I don't have that thing, so I'm not okay. So that's really important for me to clarify. When I'm talking about desire, I'm talking about the sensation of desire in the body, the feeling of wanting in the body. That's what I'm talking about when I'm talking about desire. I'm talking about how we get to live in this world, because we're creating this reality, right? As we're thinking, as we're living, we're thinking, and we're creating this reality that we're living in. And so where do we grow? Where do we grow from there? Like what do we, if we didn't have desire as an inbuilt capacity, we would just be creating what we're experiencing and creating what we're experiencing, and we wouldn't have any way to transform that or to like enjoy the creation of being alive. The very like the very point of being a human, to me, the very point of an existence, a lifespan, is to witness and delight in varying experiences, transformations, different things, different experiences. It wouldn't be a juicy, like for me, it wouldn't be a juicy life. It wouldn't be like what I want to experience if I ate the same food for every meal. That for me would be just like, ugh. So that variation, that transformation, that art piece, that project, those of getting a thing out of your head and into the world, like what's the thing that has us engaged in life, has us changing things, doing things, doing our utmost to experience certain things? It's want, it's desire. That's the thing that drives all of it. And when we can really enjoy that sensation and channel that sensation rather than having it be caught up in our ideas of what can and can't happen. So if we can just enjoy, say, take a chocolate bar, right? Chocolate bar is an easy thing to desire. I love chocolate. If we have our desire for chocolate, if we relate that very strongly, which is what we all tend to do, is we tend to relate that desire for chocolate with the actual thing. So at that point, our brain comes in and goes, oh, you shouldn't have the chocolate because it's late at night and it's sugar, or it's got calories in it, or whatever your ideas are about chocolate. And also like, but I don't have a chocolate bar right in front of me, and I've got to go to the shop, and I've got to do the, like, we can make it, it suddenly gets all these things going on around it, and the sensation in the body shifts completely when we get into that. And what, like, the bit that I love and the bit that I celebrate and the bit that for me is like where all our energy comes from, where we get this other level of energy available to us and this other level of living available to us is when we can go, oh yeah, I really fancy a chocolate bar. We don't need to do anything with it. We need to actually go and have a chocolate bar if it's inconvenient or doesn't really fit in with our other plans. We can just go, that's a nice thought. That's a nice feeling. I like that. And then carry on. We don't have to, or we can use that we can use that thing to, oh yeah, I'm going to pop out. I'm going to go and get a chocolate bar and I'm going to really enjoy it. But separating the two things gives us this enormous freedom for desire and to enjoy that sensation and to enjoy what it brings. And quite often I've really enjoyed channeling that into what I'm doing. So I might have a desire for something, but I'm in the middle of doing something and my wonderful brain will go, oh, but you want this. Oh, but you want this. and so one of the things I love to do is get in that feeling and just put it into what I'm doing. And oftentimes when I feel able to do that, the energy of the desire really fires up what I'm doing, and it's really great way to interact with what I'm living in. Like just delighting in that feeling. Like, oh cool, I'm alive. I want things. Like, that's really cool. And I just think there's such an amazing, there's so much in there. There's no requirement to have the thing, although you can use it for energy to get the thing. That's cool. That's often what it's about. But there's also this like wonderful nurturing of the sense of self that comes with that acknowledgement and that celebration of what's occurring as a desire, and just enjoying that and seeing like the shame thoughts that come up with some desires, or the automatic shutdown that comes up with some desires, or the comparisons that come up with some desires. There can be so much noise that shows up with it, but when you can separate out or just not go there, it's like if you imagine it's like the energy, the momentum, the feeling is the desire, and then it's just like we just stick it on something that we know, a chocolate bar, and when we can, it's not about separating out was just a strange word to use, but it's like connecting with that momentum, connecting with that part of us that's our personal desire. And when we can connect with that feeling rather than the thing, there's this wonderful like self-acknowledgement that's happening and self-celebration that's happening. And when I'm working with people, I so often am saying, stoke your own fire. The last video that I did was about how that sense of ourselves is our biggest healing tool. And this is another opportunity to stoke your own fire, to just acknowledge, like emotions, you don't need to express or get a desire, but to acknowledge it within yourself and to celebrate it within yourself and to bring it into being a choice as to whether you then act on it. All of that is so deeply empowering and so fun. Like, how wonderful. We can desire anything we want. We can then use like common sense and decide whether it's the thing that we want to go and pursue or not. Because we might really want to buy that cuddly toy, but we don't actually want any more cuddly toys in our house. I mean, I have a 9-year-old, so, cuddly toys are a thing. Not that there's anything wrong with adults loving cuddly toys too. I've got, not slamming that. That's great. But yeah, it's really about connecting to that power, about connecting to that sense of your own desire without attaching to the thing or the outcome. So it's like not attachment to the outcome, but enjoying what shows up and what feels delicious to you, and acknowledging it as unique and acknowledging it as your own, and just enjoying your own desire as a feeling. Because I think that, to me, that's where we, to follow that, to tune in with that, we get much clearer then when we're used to that, and we're not just immediately in all of the scaffolding around whether it's bad for us or not. When we can just tune into the actual desire and acknowledge that first, we get so much more flexibility in what it is we actually put our time into, and what it is we actually choose to create. To, like, take the desire for chocolate. If I feel like I just need it now because my desire is strong, and then I've not connected to the desire separate to the outcome, and I might go and grab a chocolate bar, and the nearest chocolate bar might be just some mass-produced shit. Not mentioning any names, and I eat mass-produced shit as well sometimes. But if we connect to that desire, and we know that we don't have to be attached to the outcome, maybe that desire will come back. Maybe we can nurture it. Maybe we can go, oh yeah. Then we can take a special trip to go and get the chocolate that we really like. And then it becomes this beautiful, intentional, rewarding, delicious experience, instead of being a like, I need that, I'm gonna have that, and it's a bit shit. Like, the whole thing is just not the same. It's not fun. It's not as easy. It's not delicious. So yeah, that's my thinking on desire and the power of it, and just connecting to that and validating that as being the way we move in life. We don't need to be ticking all these boxes of all these shoulds and shouldn'ts. We've already discovered that we're creating all of that for ourselves. So when this self-creating reality is really where we're sitting, the power of desire is such a beautiful thing to play with, and play with how it sits in our reality and how we want to accommodate it, and where it can lead us in letting go of our old thinking or creating new thinking. Because really, what's the point of what's the point of life? To me, it's to have a broad and as delicious as possible experience. I want to have a depth of experience, and this understanding has brought me more depth of experience and more transformation and more delight on the daily than anything else I've ever discovered. So that's why I share it, and that's why I talk about it. And if it's something you want to explore, get in touch, and I love sharing about it. Yeah, thank you very much for watching.